Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
You know, anytime you try to mess with the economy, as the feds are trying to do right now, because we got an overheated economy, we've pumped so much money into this economy and handed tons of money out. In fact, we've handed so much money out to states across the country, they don't even know what to do with it. Like they're building ski lifts and there's supposed to be COVID money. But when you mess with the economy, you're eventually going to pay the price. The feds have never been good at this. And the recession, I've been saying it for a while, it's coming. Everybody's like, dude, shut up. It's not coming. Now, it's not 2008 recession, but it's here. It's closer than you think for a lot of different reasons. Deutsche Bank came out again and said, look, a major recession is coming. Why? Well, they're going to start raising rates again. They have no choice. They have no choice. The Dow crashed yesterday again. You pump this much money into an economy that we did. You hand money out to people. All the while the supply chain is broken. And with the supply chain being broken, meaning I'd like to buy something, but I can't because there's nothing to buy. Especially big ticket items. What do you have? Well, you have a heated up market. Same thing with the housing market, which is it's here. And think about this. If you are a Democrat right now, you're running around going, we suck at everything at this point in time. And this is where if I'm the Republican Party, I'm saying, look, guys, culture war's good. It's good to fight it. Let's not go overboard. Okay? I get it. You're in front of a crowd. You want to talk about, we're going to take away everybody's rights to be transgender. We're going to get... Take a deep breath. Let them continue down the path. You've got the victory within your grasp. It's right in front of you. And we've known this on both sides of the aisle. How many times have we seen defeat grabbed from the jaws of victory? I got it. We're going to lose. I'm going to grab it. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. You've got a recession on the way. Again, I don't think it's 2008. I don't think we're going to have 12, 13, 14% unemployment. I don't think it's going to last for 2, 3, 4 quarters. What I think we're going to find, though, is a slowdown. And that thing that I've talked about where, several economists, Chad, I just don't think you know what you're talking about. We're going to have 2 economies. We're still going to have people that are going to be doing just fine. But the lower portion of the financial world is going to struggle in massive ways. And that's going to put a real, kink into this economy. So going into the midterms, you've got everything set up for you. And yeah, the culture war, it's something you need to pay attention to. We do Woke Wednesday. We got some woke stuff coming up. But the reality is, don't overreach. Don't do what Russia's done in the Ukraine, which is fire everything you have and then realize, hey, you guys, we can't build any more tanks because we don't have stuff to build them with. Hey, we better get some more missiles. Yeah, we've. This is it right here. We're finishing up. This is the last material. We'll get some more. Man, nobody will sell us anything. Yeah, so we're kind of screwed. Pace yourself. You've got the victory. Let's go back to Watergate. Nixon, you were easily going to win. Everything was done and dusted. You didn't have to do anything. But you pushed, and you did something stupid. That's all I'm saying. Don't do something stupid. You will inherently because you are politicians. But when you've got major banks coming out and saying, yeah, we got a recession coming and it is ugly and it's going to get uglier before it gets better. And no matter what the feds do, they're not going to do it right. They never have and they never will. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet us. One of the other things that's going on is the fact you cannot ignore it. Democrats can't ignore it anymore. They tried to a while. They're like, there's nothing going on at the border, nothing to see here. It's a hot mess. So this morning, I get up early, drive. I got to get gas. I hate getting gas. So I go and Border Patrol, if you guys know where I live, I talk about it. I essentially live between Tucson and Phoenix, right square in the middle. as I call it, the Valley of the Dirt people. It's great if you're running from stuff like, a subpoena. It's really in the middle of nowhere, but it's growing because they're putting stuff out there because there is nothing out there. But there's the Border Patrol right there. And I was talking to one of the guys today. He's filling up. I said, how you doing? He just looked at me and he goes, I spend 10 hours doing paperwork instead of being out in the field. I was out in the field for like 90 minutes, and I spent 10 hours interviewing and doing paperwork. And he just looked so defeated. Well, it's about to get worse because what we have coming with Title 42 going away is more and more people. Well, Chad, I thought they put, a situation where they put inside of the situation that we have. It's expiring, but now we got a temporary restraining order. We do have a temporary restraining order, but notice that word temporary. It's not, this thing's for good, because this is not an immigration policy. This is a healthcare policy. And we have no fix, none coming. No matter what side of the aisle stands up and goes, all right, come on, this is a bit much. It doesn't matter. It falls upon deaf ears.
So this is a Trump-era policy, and really it's been used more than 1 million times now to expel migrants at the border. Opponents of this Title 42 say that it used COVID as an excuse to keep immigrants out of the country, so the administration had planned to lift it come May 23rd. But people who want to keep it in place say lifting it would lead to this large influx of immigration at the border. Even the administration has conceded that lifting Title 42 could lead to as many as 18,000 border crossings a day, at its peak up from about 8,000 right now.
Which, if you talk to the border agents, they'll say, yeah, a good day was like 1,000, 2,000, maybe 3. Now it's 8,000. Going up to 18,000. Think about that for a second. Going up. The Dems are pushing hard. They're like, man, look, even Fauci came out. I don't know if you guys saw it. Fauci came out. I was like, we're past the pandemic stage. We're into endemic stage. He comes out and says it. This doesn't need to be in place. It should be gotten rid of. But when you have no other plan, and you've been using this essentially as your plan to make it look like you're not being a bad guy by telling people you can't come here willy-nilly, apply for asylum, move into our country, set up your life, maybe come to your hearing, but probably not. They don't want to look bad. So instead, they've been using this, but this is going away. SCOTUS heard yesterday they remain in Mexico because Texas is suing, saying, hey, how many times do they have to tell you that you have to use this policy? And when you keep the remain in Mexico policy and you're like, fine, we're going to use it, but we're going to use it on 1 square mile of the entire border, it's enough. You've failed again.
So the White House really has been under a ton of pressure on this one. Republicans have turned this into a political attack. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, you can see him there. He was at the border yesterday, cameras in tow. They're hailing this right now, this move by the federal judge, as a victory for border security. But even members of the president's own party, Democrats and allies, have pushed him to keep Title 42 in place. Immigration advocates, however, say that it's time to stop using public health as a reason to expel migrants who are seeking asylum. They're calling on the administration to fight back against this ruling.
Everybody can just come over and seek asylum. You think how crazy that is? Yeah, anybody can come over and do it. That's the insanity. We're an immigrant advocate group, which is we want open borders, and whatever you have to do to allow that to happen. So stop using this. How about we come up with a comprehensive plan? We actually put it in place and we enforce whatever the plan is. Is that hard? Yes. For politicians in today's world, absolutely hard. This president is in so much trouble. And think about this for a second. January 6th is soon going to be gone. The Trump talk and stuff, that'll be left to the state and local authorities as they continue to hunt stuff down, and the media will do whatever it is it's doing. But in will come others on the Republican side. And what do you think that's going to look like? What kind of investigation? They're going to spend the next 2 years investigating the hell out of everything from Hunter Biden to how the Russiagate thing came about, into all of these things. If you're him, it's a nightmare. You are essentially a lame duck president. You're going to be neutered. for 2 years. And again, this is where the Republicans will overstep and do stupid things rather than getting things done, because in a day and age of getting things done, that means somebody gets the credit. If somebody gets the credit and it's not you, that means even though the people may benefit, you may not benefit from it. And you were sent to Washington to benefit yourself from things and your party, not the actual people. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. A lot of stuff to get to, including more on the Ukraine, the meltdown with Elon Musk. God, some of it is just insane. How many people take to Twitter to tweet that they're no longer going to tweet, and then they don't close their account? Like, how many people get to do that? It's crazy. I'm laughing. Like, nobody shuts their account down. I'm leaving. This is it. Are you going to miss me? No, nobody's going to miss you. No, nobody is. But it is funny to watch the meltdown. And the media that's not Twitter but lives on Twitter and then takes that to their media world, they're hilarious. I don't know what they think is going to happen. I do not fully comprehend in my mind, and maybe it's just because I'm not a sharp tool, what they think may actually happen if people have a voice that is different than the voices that they like. Like, I don't know. Again, tell me on the dole where the tweet hurt you. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. I've gotten older, as you guys know that. We all are. 51. Take better care of my health. And one of the things is, you're like, I should take some supplements and stuff like that. And supplements, you get these giant pills and they taste awful. And do they really work? And you go and you find out and you see studies. They don't work. Your body doesn't absorb any of the stuff. So then along comes Healthy Cell. Healthy Cell is awesome. It's not a pill. It's an ingestible gel, right? So you suck it down. It comes in it looks like a ketchup-sized package, right? You tear off the top, suck it down. You can even put it in water, make a smoothie, and it's incredible. I do it for my sleep, I have focus and recall, but I'm also doing it for my immune system, and it is great. It gives me everything that I'm not going to get off a regular supplement. In fact, to get the things that I'm taking, I'd have to take 15 huge capsules, all because of this one packet. It's going to help with my immune cell support. It's going to give me healthy immune response. It's going to regulate my immune system. It's going to give me all of this amazing stuff with, you're looking at it, you're like, okay, so what's in it? Vitamin C? Yeah, I've heard of that. Vitamin D, zinc, acacia extract, elderberry, you name it. It's got it. It's incredible. Right now, try this. You're going to love it. The taste is great. And if I can eat it, anybody can eat it. Taste is great. And what it's going to do for you is incredible. Go to healthycell.com/Chad, healthycell.com/Chad. You're going to get 20% off your first order. That's healthycell.com/Chad, healthycell.com/Chad. Save 20%. Chad Benson Show.
Russian detention, and President Biden says in a statement he's returning to the family that, quote, missed him dearly. The 30-year-old former Marine was serving a 9-year prison sentence for allegedly assaulting 2 Russian police officers in 2019 after a night of drinking. Reed and his family have denied the charges. The president said in a statement, quote, the negotiations that allowed us to bring Trevor home required difficult decisions that I do not take lightly. Reed's family, who met with the president at the White House on March 30th, said Trevor's health had been recently worsening.
Yeah. So swapping him out for a guy that apparently was doing 20 years for Russian for cocaine distribution. So that's what we get. We get our Marine back. They get a coke dealer. I don't know why that was a tough thing to do. I don't know what to do there. It's tough. You got to get rid of this coke dealer and we bring home our guy. Okay, we got another one. We can bring home the basketball player. Right? Brittany Griner. How many to get her out? What's the cost of that at this point? Now, I don't know, his parents, and I love the way she goes, who, and I quote, whose family missed him a lot. Like, was that necessary to say? Was that something that was necessary to say? Apparently it was. But we got him out. And there'll be more, I'm sure, coming in the days as everybody's going to focus now on what is going on with Brittany Griner. She's the WNBA star. So the way it works is in the WNBA, you don't make a lot of money. Rightly, I mean, it's understandable. I mean, nobody watches the games. Nobody goes to the games. I couldn't even tell you if they're in season. I don't know. I don't know when it is. I've always joked for years. It's a tax write-off for the NBA. It's kind of what it is. But to make money, they go to Europe because Europe, in particular, Russia will pay huge money. So, and they do. And she goes over there and she probably makes $1 million a year playing basketball. They have a condensed season. It's not hard. The oligarchs throw money at you. Well, one of the oligarchs who lost all of his stuff because of the sanctions, for years, he protected her. She could do what she wanted to do pretty much over there. Those guys, I've got friends who've gone and played both soccer and hockey over there. And the insanity of which these guys throw money at and do, and you can do whatever you want. You really can. You can. Bert Kreischer is a comedian. He has a great bit about being called the Machine. And if you've never seen it, you should just Google it. It's hilarious. But he goes over there as like on a school field trip in like his second year of college, and he joins up somehow on a drunken night with the mob. And the entire time he's over there, he screw your class. He is with the mob, and they can do whatever they want. And it's like that. But once this thing happened, once the sanctions came, all of a sudden, she's got some hashish in a vape pen. Now she faces 10 years in jail. She is no real lawyer. The people inside of the cell have been the ones that have been really helping her. So, yeah, I think if we try hard, we can get her home. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. The obsession with all kinds of things in the world of identity politics. NBC News. This was a tweet. The 23-year-old lesbian tutor from Toronto has amassed $320,000, the most by a Canadian in Jeopardy history. She doesn't have a name. Apparently her name is Lesbian Tutor. Talk about that straight ahead and so much more. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
It's so user-friendly, and they have so many photos.
Tell you what, we went to break, and somebody actually texted me, and you can text the program, 323-538-CHAD. It said, was that a real tweet from NBC? Yes, a Canadian woman was described. She was played regular Jeopardy, not Canadian Jeopardy. She was on Jeopardy, because a lot of countries around the world, they have their own version of something. No, she was on Jeopardy. And they described her simply as, she's won the most money, $320,000. They described her simply as a lesbian tutor, which really pisses me off because that was the name of my new band, Lesbian Tutor. So there is not going to be a Lesbian Tutor album coming soon. But that's the obsession that the left has with weird stuff about identity politics. In this woke world, it matters more about not who you are as a human being. Are you a good person? Are you a bad person? Are you corrupt? Are you evil? None of those things matter. What matters to people is simply, what's your sexual orientation? What's the color of your skin? Those things matter more than anything else. It's true. Pretend that it's not, but show me where that's not something on which you are, judged in this world of wokeness, in this world of, your biases. How many of you listening right now have to sit through some sort of bias training, some sort of, whatever you want to call it as an adult? I mean, it's a training of some sort. They're going through it here. I'm blessed. So I do a local show and do a national show. I work for myself. That even includes the local show where I'm really not an employee. But I'm seeing all the employees who look at me and go, do we have to do 13 weeks of bias training? 13 weeks. And the first 5 questions, right? So they not so much questions, but they ask you is, I am. So you put I am. And then you could describe whatever. I am Chad. I am, a dad. I'm da-da-da-da. Whatever it is. And then when you click to the next thing, it says, in which one of these makes you the most biased? And you're like, what? Yeah. Crazy, right? Welcome to the world of insanity. So the lesbian tutor, congratulations for her. People freak out. I think it's hilarious. The whole thing with Elon Musk is absolutely, it makes my heart sing. Remember those kids yesterday? They're not going to get jobs unless their heart sings, something. This makes my heart sing because people are freaking out. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What do you mean, what's going to happen? Just out of curiosity, what do you think is going to happen? It depends who you talk to.
Now, he's said a couple of things. He's taken a lot of populist positions on some user features. For example, the much fabled edit button that was going to come to Twitter. He says that's going to happen. That could be positive or negative. We don't know what that looks like in practice. But he's also said a lot of things about free speech, and that's great. Free speech is the fundamental principle of this country. But moderation is different than free speech. And moderation is hard. It's extremely hard.
Yeah, I think he's going to find that out. It is extremely hard to moderate. What's free speech? Well, it's not going to be the libertarian stream of everything goes. You're not going to have, we talked about it yesterday. It's not going to be go on there and you're going to find the worst things in the world. You get, just the worst. It's not a lot is going to happen that I think is going to be too different. The different part of it's going to come from the fact that you're able to ask questions again. Serious people. Not trolls. How do you even know if they're real anyways? But serious people are going to be able to ask questions. They're going to ask questions that right now, if they ask, they'll get pushback from. Right? Right now, if they have a statement and a belief that, hey, a man is a man and a woman is a woman, period, kind of thing. You're not assigned you're not assigned your gender at birth and then can change it later on. It's like, oh, I think I got the wrong folder. You picked up my bag. I'm sorry. No. You're not going to shut people down for that. Right? Those are the things that I think a lot of people, it's just going to be anti-Semitism and people are going to just be going on there dropping but no, it's not. And you're going to be bummed when that doesn't happen. But when you have people like Joy Reid,
the enjoyment they get out of being in this town square is being able to harass people, being able to attack people. They attacked women. The misogyny was crazy on Twitter for a while, but they don't just want to come in. They want to come in and be able to punch people in the face and walk around and laugh about it and not have anyone be able to stop them. Elon Musk, I guess he misses the old South Africa in the 80s. He wants that back.
First of all, so you're telling me he is, as a young child, when apartheid was coming to an end, he was clamoring for mom and dad. Mom and dad, please don't let apartheid come to an end. You're telling me that's what he was saying? Because he clamors for the days long gone when Mandela was locked up, right? Enough. I mean, how do you get away with that? Honestly, how do you get away with saying something like you believe that you're essentially saying he is all about apartheid, and he's a racist. That's what you're saying. And your proof is based on what? His differing opinions? The fact that he wants to have freedom of speech? Well, Chad, you don't understand. Moderation matters. Moderation is going to be good. Tell me. And what about the influence he may have? That's what Ari Melberg, also a tool of the left.
Elon Musk says this is all to help people because he is just a free speech, philosophically clear, open-minded helper. If you own all of Twitter or what have you, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate or all of its candidates, all of its nominees, or you could just secretly turn down the reach of their stuff and turn up the reach of something else, and the rest of us might not even find out about it till after the election.
Kind of like what took place in this last election. Love Trump or hate Trump, don't tell me there wasn't a collected effort. As that woman described it in Time magazine, a cabal where people who have differing opinions about things, from the trans and LGBT world to the Black Lives Matter to many other progressive movements that maybe didn't see eye to eye with other ones, came together with the likes of, I don't know, Zuckerberg, who spent $400 million on quote-unquote grassroots to defeat Trump. And somehow Elon Musk is a bad guy? And that can't happen? The hypocrisy of which these people live in is amazing. They are, this, the famous, you go back in the Bible, and it's obviously loosely translated when you go back to the original, but when they talk about, let he who hath no sin cast the first stone. If Jesus would hear and said that now, these people that were saying stoner, and they said, he have no sin, cast the first stone. First of all, they say, Jesus, let they, because you don't know if they're a man or woman. Secondly, we're all going to throw it because we don't think we have sin. We don't. Oh, we got so much of this stuff. Craziness with it leaked, lunacy when it comes to their boards and their fear. Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's enough to make a lesbian tutor go on Jeopardy and win a whole bunch of money. Oh, Chad, you said that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. What's going on in the Ukraine? Well, nasty stuff, obviously. Today, something weird, a munitions factory in Russia. It's like the third or fourth factory or plant that is blown up. Blew up. And the first two or three, the Ukrainians like, we have no idea what's going on, right? And you may be like, well, the Russians, this seems like something they may do to themselves. But then one of their foreign ministers said, well, turnabout's fair play. And if that's true, and I've always kind of said, hey, why aren't they wandering into Russia going, all right, if this is what you want to do, then let's do something. If that's true, this changes a lot of different things, because now we're like, okay, what weapons are we giving them? Because we're in this thing now. There's no doubt about that. I continue to go back to Lloyd Austin, SecDef, talking about Ukraine and winning.
My trip to Kyiv reinforced my admiration for the way that the Ukrainian armed forces are deploying these capabilities. Ukraine clearly believes that it can win, and so does everyone here.
Yeah, and that's where it's at now. Win, win, win. They talked about, there's a new tone. And it's, I don't know if it's coming from the administration, but it's within the administration. Like SecDef Lloyd Austin, they're talking about, hey, it's winning. We want to weaken them. We want to make sure that we do everything we can to destabilize them, weaken them, and maybe make sure that they can never do anything like this again. Literally neuter them, demilitarize them is words being used even by the Ukrainians right now. And they're in a fight that they never thought they would be in. And I think a lot of it is because, much like we talked about yesterday, and we're going to get to a little bit later, how shocked Osama bin Laden was that we fought against them. He thought it would just be a few airstrikes and that was it. He was shocked that we came and did what we did. I think, and I think a lot of people feel this way, I am as shocked that the world has rallied around Ukraine based on the fact that energy and the fact that they've sold their soul to Putin, the devil, to get that energy. And today, of course, Poland had their gas shut down. And they're calling it, blackmail. Well, that's of course what it is. But that was the issue when you sold your soul. And not so much them, but the Germans really helped lead the way in that. Well, they're good people now. The Russians are fine. Cold War's over. Nothing to worry about. If we give them everything, they'll be fine as long as we keep paying them. Oh, man. Who would have thought? Think about this. I keep telling my kids this. You're living through history. COVID, crazy election, and all that went down. Oh, yeah. The end of Afghanistan. Now we've got this war that is going on, and it has re-upped the fear of nuclear weapons. I mean, you're living through stuff that's going to be in, because there's a lot of times, like you go back to the 90s, like there was a few things that happened. You're like, yeah, you might put that it's in a Wikipedia. You might put it in a history book for 2 seconds, like a, not even a chapter, like a paragraph. This stuff is study worthy, which isn't always good, as we know, but how can you not think you're not living through history? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Eden Pure. It's great. So you go to EdenPureDeals.com, use code CHAD3. You're going to save big on the best thing I have done for my house in a long time, which is get the best air purifier around, right? So you get this thing, and it's this little box, right? It comes in this little box. Like, what's this thing going to do? Take it out. There's no filters. Just got a plug into the wall. What's it do? Kills everything, right? Proven Oxy technology destroys viruses, odors, mold, so much more. 150,000 plus sold and continuing to grow every day. It's called the Eden Pure Oxy Leaf 2 Thunderstorm. You're going to get 3 units. You're going to save $200 by using code CHAD3. You will smell the difference, as I say, because no matter how bad something smells, doesn't matter what it is, within minutes, boom. No air purifiers to buy, just plug and go. Done it with my house, you should do it with yours. Save $200 right now. Go to EdenPureDeals.com. Use code CHAD3. That's the number 3. You're going to save $200 on a 3-pack, which will do your entire house, unless you have like a 12,000-foot home. Then get 3 units. Plus 3 units, plus 3 units. EdenPureDeals.com. Use code CHAD3. Shipping is free. EdenPureDeals.com. Use code CHAD3 to save big. Chad Benson Show.
Helen Keller is a Nazi terrorist that is a male. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Hitler?
Who's Hitler?
Vaccines work, but only the Chad Benson Show is 100% effective against stupidity.
Do you know what D-Day is? D-Day.
A person? A rapper?
God, Karen, you are so stupid.
Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and wherever you find your favorite woke-free podcasts. This is the Chad Benson Show.
His dog is gay.
My dog is gay.
Yeah.
But you never know. PetSmart has pride for dogs because you know what? You never know if your dog might be gay or bisexual or trans, okay? Oh my god.
It's a gay dog.
My dog is a flaming homosexual just like me.
So stupid. My dog is gay. Well, first of all, my dogs are neutered, so they no longer participate in anything gay or straight. I think most animals end up that way, don't they? Oh, goodness me. Is that real? I think it was overdone, if you will. But, yeah, there's people out there that, this is what the dog wants to wear. He wants to wear this. Don't you guys know that? What's its pronouns?
So when I was still figuring out my gender, I was going by Z, them, zir pronouns because I didn't really want to be associated with any gendered pronouns. And this is they, them, their, but with the TH crossed out. But I just had thought of, like, a new set of neopronouns. So you've got she, her, hers, and you've got he, him, his. So if you take those and you cancel out all the letters that the two words have in common with each other, you cross out an H, an E, an H. Now if you take those letters, you can mix and match them and rearrange them so you end up with a set of pronouns in which only the letters which don't have anything in common are your pronouns.
So, wait, what? Yeah. So you take all those things and then you start peeling those things off, and whatever you have left is your new pretend pronoun.
So you could end up REM, and you could end up with an RIS, and you're left with this E here, and add an R so it matches the rest of them. You can end up with a set of pronouns, rem, riz, where it has nothing in common with the traditional binary pronouns. So if you're agender or non-binary and don't want anything in common with the gender binary anymore, rem, riz.
And you wonder why I think we're doomed. Riz, raz, riz. At this point, isn't it just easier to get the alphabet soup and you just go, oh, look at those letters, make something neat. I'm going to call myself that from now on. Wouldn't that just be easier? You're overthinking this. Or we could just ask you, hey, what's your name? I go by Stan. Oh, okay. I'm going to call you Stan. I'm going to call you anything else. 323-538-2423. Oh my God, my dog is gay. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
It's going to get ugly. You're the Democrats. You got to be freaking out. Right? Inflation's through the roof. Immigration's a nightmare. You got the war going on in Ukraine. Prices are going up in the energy world. We could be heading to recession. Deutsche Bank says, look, we're headed towards a major recession. They've been calling for it for a while. You've got midterms just, not too far away. Your wokeness is causing you to lose tons of support because even people on the left are like, all right, we've jumped the shark on this. It is not good for you.
Well, yet another bad poll for President Biden, and this time it involves a key part of his base. The president's approval rating among young voters sinking to 41%. Now, that's nearly a 20-point drop from just a year ago. Sir, Mark Penn, former Clinton pollster and advisor. Mark, let me ask you, why do you think that is, and is that a real problem for him?
I think the decline here has been across the board. We could look at virtually any group. The problem is that the problems of the country have mounted up. Inflation, immigration, crime, the end of the pandemic. All of those things have come together. So can they reverse this across the board decline?
No, not in any real time. It's not going to happen. You know that. I know that. It's not. I mean, how and when would this happen? Just out of curiosity. What is going to take place between now and November that is going to see a major reversal for this president and this party? He's not on the ticket. He's absolutely on the ticket. 100%. Trump, in some ways, is still on the ticket. But he's absolutely on the ticket. And so goes the economy in many ways. So goes the party in power. And right now, the economy is stumbling and bumbling and seems to be fumbling its way to a recession. You've got the feds who, they don't know what they're doing because there's never been anything like this. And they've never been good at this anyways. Go back in history and look at all the times they tried to slow an economy down or tried to balance out, right? Bring into some parity the oh my God, we've got supply chain issues. We got this issue. It doesn't work. It's never worked. They're not good at it. They're going to pay the price. They are. They're going to pay the price. And then people will freak out, like they freak out over Elon Musk, which I'm still trying to figure out. What are you scared of? What are you all scared of? I don't know. But think about it. Energy prices, let's not talk about that. And those energy prices, by the way, based on the fact that today they're cutting off Poland from gas, and they only want to be paid in rubles now. So 4 European countries have come up with rubles. I don't even know where you get rubles. Where exactly would I get these things? What are they worth? Nothing. So Poland and Bulgaria were notified by Gazprom that they would be cut off today. And due to the absence of payments in rubles, it's not good. What do you think is going to happen with energy from here on out? It's going to be a struggle. This administration's in a lot of well, they're just a heap amount of trouble. They are, and they've got no fix for anything. Zero, zilch, nada. Go look at immigration.
I welcome our colleagues who are finally making angry noises about this border crisis. The problem is that their lockstep Democratic votes for over a year helped produce it. For over a year, Senate Democrats have rubber-stamped every single aspect of the Biden administration's failed border policy. Not a single Senate Democrat voted for common-sense Republican amendments to do things like preserve the Remain in Mexico policy and defund sanctuary cities. And the cost of their bad decisions gets worse every day.
Yeah, it does. But one of the things I'm starting to realize is, over the last couple days, the SCOTUS is wrapping up. In fact, I think today's the last day that they're hearing cases. But in front of them is the Remain in Mexico policy. And what I'm starting to realize more and more is, and this is part of it's Congress's fault because you guys have given up your power. You weren't usurped by the courts. You gladly gave up power, and it's easy to see why. Because if they rule that something is this way or that way, it gives you political cover to say, look, guys, we tried, right? But the courts ruled in a different way, and I can't go around the courts. We can't go above the courts. There's no oracle there. There's nothing there that we can do outside of this. So people go, oh, meaning I don't really have to make a decision. I don't have to compromise because we've allowed the courts to make the final decision in this. And people realize, well, the courts are the ones who made the decision. So even if you think this thing is bunk, but we really wanted it, and you realize that this thing would never work, the fact is I can't hold you responsible for it not going on because somebody else ruled upon it.
It would force, essentially, the Biden administration to negotiate with Mexico. As Justice Kagan put it today, you can't simply load up all these migrants in a truck and drive them across and dump them in Mexico. This is a very sensitive humanitarian, diplomatic issue at the border between the two countries.
Yeah, it is. All of those things are true. But as they're asking questions, like Sotomayor was there, and you can tell which way it's going in the question and answer. In the Q&A portion of the program, you kind of get a feel of like, all right, we know where this is headed. We get where this is headed. We understand what's going on here. When they start asking certain questions, you start to get a realization, okay, you're asking certain questions in a certain way that really makes it feel like you're going to rule for or against something. Because you're only hearing one day. It's not like this isn't a go on forever. There's no jury. But what you've done now is you've punted responsibility to 9 people who never have to worry about ever being voted out of office.
They argued that the state of Texas, a court, Missouri, they can't force the Biden administration to continue having to negotiate with Mexico. The justices seemed very piqued by that argument, and we'll perhaps find out at the end of next month whether or not they'll let it stand and whether Remain in Mexico will be ended once and for all, a relic of the Trump era.
But a reasonable thing. A reasonable Trump era relic, as he called it. So they're fine with remaining in Mexico. So this is what they're trying to say now is, look, remaining in Mexico might be a good policy, but I don't want to talk to the Mexicans. And you can't make me. So we're just going to leave it at that. That's their argument now. Well, Mexico's got to do something. Why is it that we have to do something and nobody else does? You've allowed people to come into your country illegally, Mexico. And so based on that, we have to do something. That's the silliness. Do you remember when Trump put this in place? What ended up happening? Mexico got tougher and set up more blockades to stop people from coming to Mexico. Because if they knew they were going to stay in Mexico, Mexico didn't want them there. But if they're just passing through, they don't care. All that being said, 9 non-elected officials who don't have to worry about being recalled. I mean, yes, could you potentially? Yeah, but they don't have to worry about being voted out, right? One misstep isn't going to get them recalled. They've got no fear. They've got a lifetime appointment to the job that they have with zero fear of ever losing that job. So they can make decisions that too many politicians today are terrified to make. So it's just easier to let them make the decision. And that gives you the political cover that you want without having to make the decisions that everybody else wants and needs. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. One of the reasons, we talked about recession a little bit earlier. If you've not seen what's going on in Beijing, it's terrifying. Shanghai, by the way, they showed. So some businesses, some industries, and even Elon Musk, by the way, lobbied the Chinese government to essentially say, hey, keep our stuff open. We don't care if those people live at the places. Keep it open. Well, they're producing stuff, and stuff can't get out. They're showing all these giant, huge cargo things that are just piling up because nothing can come ashore. So food is rotting, and nothing can get out. It's a nightmare. Beijing, you might be in for it.
Authorities are cracking down, police restricting people's movements. They're stepping up their efforts to prevent a larger outbreak like the one in Shanghai. Shanghai has now been shut down for 5 weeks. For the city's 25 million people trapped in their homes, fences are put up where COVID cases have been confirmed to stop residents from leaving.
Get ready, Beijing. I guess the zero COVID policy didn't work. And now you're thinking about doing a Shanghai crushing of people in Beijing. Oh, Lord. Lordy, Lordy. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. But you guys have a vaccine, right? And it's made in China. And much like a lot of stuff made in China, it's cheap and it doesn't work. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. CarShield does work. 24/7 roadside assistance. A rental car for free while your car's in the shop. Shop, you choose that shop. They get them paid directly, do the paperwork, the whole 9 yards. You pay a small deductible. We're just talking about all the backups. So think about this. Labor's going up. Getting parts is getting tougher. What do you think happens if your car breaks down? It's going to be more expensive or less expensive? How about with rising interest rates if you want to go get a new car? More expensive, less expensive. Yeah. It's tough out there. Protect the car you have. So we need CarShield. They got plans start as low as $99 a month, and you're going to have a chance to lock in your pricing forever. Take better care of your car, which takes better care of you, and your wallet, which is awesome. Over 1 million drivers trusted CarShield. Why not be one of them? Go to carshield.com/Chad, carshield.com/Chad. When you do that today, you're going to save 10%, but you're also going to lock in your forever pricing, which means, so you go to carshield.com/Benson, carshield.com/Benson. You get to keep that. So if you keep your car for 5 more years, you have CarShield, price never goes up. Or call 800-391-8888, 800-391-8888. Save 10% when you use the promo code Benson and lock in your forever pricing. carshield.com/Benson. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
Welcome to Chad. No, not the country. The institution. The Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Ignition. Liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending.
What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending?
Let's take a look and find out what's trending upon the interwebs. Let's start over in Google where crazy people are doing crazy. Liberal meltdown. Yeah, if you've not, we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. The insanity of the liberals melting down when it comes to Elon Musk. And, oh, my God, there could be somebody who's – and he's not a conservative. I just want to let everybody – at best, he's a libertarian. But he's right-leaning. Yeah, he might be a little right-leaning in a lot of stuff, but he's left-leaning a lot of other things. So he's a libertarian. So settle down. Jerry West, the Logos, they call him in the NBA. He is going to sue Winning Time. If you've not seen it, it's an HBO kind of biop documentary style, really cool TV show on HBO about Showtime and the Lakers in the 80s and Jerry Buss, and it's incredible. But they portray Jerry West as this lunatic, weirdo, drunk, crazy. It is so wild. Jerry Buss was nuts. If any of that's true, he had pictures like old photo albums, but back in the day with Polaroids, where these are all the hookers that he has. And he's got all these photo albums, and he would just go, oh, yeah, I'll have her over tonight. It's just nuts. Deutsche Bank. It's trending, and the reason is simple. They are predicting a large recession is coming sooner rather than later, which is, of course, spooking the market. Head over to Google. Totally different. So you go from Google to Twitter. Twitter, mostly politics, business, things of that nature. I mean, you can find other stuff, but as far as the big tweeting things, that's it. How about on Google? Number one search thing in America yesterday. Champions League soccer. Man City, Real Madrid. I watched the game. I will say this. Top 5 game I've ever seen in my life. It was end-to-end action, nonstop, crazy. Man City could have won the game 10-2, and they could have lost the game 6-1. But they have a second round that'll be played in Madrid in a couple weeks. Histrionic personality disorder, because apparently that's what Amber Heard has. That's what psychologists are saying. I've seen him. She's got issues. Yeah, we know she's got issues. Have you read? She crapped in his bed. That's issue number one. What disorder is that? Anyone? Does anybody know? Kamala Harris, she tested positive finally for something and her life is going well. She is positive for some things. And that is COVID. It's not very nice, Chad. I know. Settle down. My goodness me. And Chris Pratt, we'll talk about him in a little bit. James Gunn came out to defend Chris Pratt. If you don't know anything about Chris Pratt, he's a Christian. And in Hollywood, you can't be that. And everybody there and everybody who's woke and everybody who's progressive hates him because they know nothing about him. And based on the fact that he's got Christian beliefs, they want him gone. And James Gunn, who was once canceled but now back because they're like, you know what? Nobody really knows how to do the stuff that he was doing and didn't do it very well. Let's bring that guy back. He came out and defended him. We'll talk about that. A lot of other crazy stuff going on. Oh, baby! Get you over that hump. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Oh, my Lord. Watching people freak out over Elon Musk, that has become a must see. See the way he did that? Oh, my goodness. Let's just go back to all the people that are getting rid of their accounts.
Twitter's gone. They accepted the money, and Elon Stalin is taking over. So you, Twitter, and goodbye forever.
Elon Musk, this is directly to you. Enjoy Twitter. I just deactivated mine. I will not be reactivating it.
I deactivated my account and deleted the app. Elon Musk.
Today, Twitter has announced that they've been bought by Elon Musk, or however you say his name. I'm not interested in staying on Twitter anymore.
Hey, I did a thing today. I deactivated my Twitter account. You can too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, by the way, you could do that always. It wasn't just because Elon Musk is taking it over. So he takes it over, right? So, oh my God, he's taking it over. The world's coming to an end. As it does. You know it does. So they had an all-hands-on meeting, right? So everybody come on over here. Talking about all kinds of things. And yes, the Twitter board having their meeting and some people within the company sitting in.
How does the board and Mr. Musk plan on dealing with a mass exodus, considering the acquisition is by a person with questionable ethics?
One of the themes of today is continuity and ensuring that Parag and this leadership team continues to operate the business successfully on behalf of our users, on behalf of our customers. And that has obviously been a big topic of discussion at the board. And as I mentioned, an area that is important to Elon Musk as well, because of the importance of Twitter as a service.
Yeah. Secondly, who are you to get a question his ethics? Based on what? Out of curiosity. He's very not ethical. So Parag Agrawal, who I'm sure I'm pronouncing his name wrong, and of which I'm sure we totally just did a racism. He, of course, is the one who wants less freedom of speech, and he's heard that. He is asked about the bias against content.
Elon made it clear in public that a large part of the reason he bought the platform was because of our moderation policies and disagreements in how we deal with health. This puts Twitter service and trust and safety, as well as anybody who cares about health on the platform, in a very difficult position.
Twitter service and the capabilities we've built around content moderation are fundamental to keeping Twitter safe and growing. Sometimes that means more thoughtful moderation. Sometimes making things simpler. Some changing product incentives to be able to solve problems.
So be able to solve problems, right? Content. What did I tell you guys yesterday? And I continue to say this. It's not, look, disinformation's out there all the time. And yes, left, you have lots of disinformation. He went after the one of the lead counsels for them over the decision to shoot down the Hunter Biden story and to cut off the New York Post, one of the third largest publication in America, newspaper. And of course, she fired, people fired back. Well, that's obviously misogyny. By the way, if you're going to be a woman and you're going to be in the workforce, are there people that may look at you because you're a woman and say, "Ugh, you're a woman"? Yeah. Just like women look at guys, "Ugh, yeah, you're mansplaining." Criticism is part of what comes with anything that you're going to do, male or female. Just want to let you know that. Agrawal, do you trust the Musk?
You said that you trust Elon Musk. Talking to Elon, what made you trust him?
And based on the conversation I had with him as a major shareholder and an opinionated user, we wanted that voice in our boardroom so that we could learn, which is where might Twitter's product go as a private company in the future once this deal closes, to best gain perspective on this.
Yeah. There's going to be changes. What are the changes? That'd be more free speech. Oh, God, not more free speech. Which is, as we all know, is never free. Go to any place that a serviceman is buried who's died in the line of duty for their country and ask them, hey, was that a free thing you did for us? No. They paid a price, an ultimate price. So the people are freaking out, as you would do. You'd freak out in a situation like this because, of course, he's evil and bad because he wants conversation. Moderation is going to be tough for them. There's no doubt. Facebook found that out. Facebook found that out over, I'm going to say it, women breastfeeding their children. That's right. Boobs. And posting pictures of them breastfeeding. What was right? What was wrong? How big can the areola be? I mean, those are the things that we're going over. That's at the beginning of Facebook, when they didn't have a ton of, several million users. And then people were marching on Facebook, women, angry women. They're lactating. What are we going to do? And it started from there, and it just, all of a sudden you've got the moderation, police everywhere. And to give you guys an idea, you can look it up, open secrets, things of that nature. If you look up the tech companies and go, well, they're not very, they're fair. They wouldn't have any bias. Go look it up, who they give money to, which side of the aisle. Even Tesla, a majority of his people, like 95, 96%, Democrats. But Google, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, almost 100%, 99.2 all the way up to like 99.8. One side of the aisle gets money. Now, they have PACs that they set up where they'll funnel money. And if you want to know where Elon gives his money, virtually down the middle, because business people realize, I don't care who's in power, I just need to get my message out there. But the free speech thing needs to be protected. Case in point. Now, we've had him on the show, not on the show, but we've played a lot of his stuff. He's this wacky guy. He's like a comedian, influencer, wannabe. He goes to the Dallas city council meetings. So he goes there to these city council meetings, and, he is rapped about Fauci and you name it, Ukraine, all this crazy stuff that he has done, and he dresses up. He goes to the city council meeting the other day wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt. It's got the do-rag on. And, it's just, first of all, it's funny. Secondly, it's what free speech is all about.
So I just got my ancestry DNA test back, and I'm 2% black. The reason I'm up here today is because y'all trifling, and we need to honor my homie George Floyd, who now been sober 2 years, and this is finna be called the Say His Name Bill. All right? So this is my ancestry DNA test, if y'all don't believe me, 2%. In order to end white supremacy, in the name of the greatest mayor of all time, Lori Lightfoot. I love you, Lori. Bless you.
Can you just pause for 1 second? Do we have to allow this to continue?
Yes, you do. It's free speech. He's got 3 minutes, someplace they give you 2 minutes. That's what it's about. He's being an idiot because he wants likes and stuff like that. But it's free speech. Somebody's feelings may be hurt, but it's free speech. Do we have to allow this? Yes, you do. You absolutely do. You do. He wasn't finished. I could go to let's just randomly pull one of his cuts. Let's see here. Let's go to this one. He's not finished. Again, he's got the BLM shirt. He's white. He's got his ancestry DNA that shows that he's 2% black. So he is now a black guy.
Students will be encouraged to do everything possible to get shot by the police and do not comply. White kids will sit in the back of the bus so that they can live the experience of Rosa Parks. Students will post a black square on all social media platforms to end racism and spread equality. Pre-made Molotov cocktails will be for sale in the school store, and it will be highly encouraged that they are used on school police cars. If a white kid acts up in the classroom, the teacher will be called to put on a knee on his neck.
That is rude, and it's parody. He doesn't mean that. It's parody. It's free speech. And the fact that a city council person goes, do we have to listen to this? Yeah. Again, if you've never been to a city council meeting, everybody should go see a trial in person, even just for a day. to see how the system works. And you should go to a city council meeting. The city council meetings are amazing, and they're crazy. I was telling my uncle yesterday, because we were talking a bit about this. There's always that one person that shows up, right? And the movie Footloose, they didn't show you that. Remember that, the big city council meeting where they let the kids dance here, dance there, do whatever. They were going to vote on the whole thing. I guarantee you, in the middle of that, somebody had their 2 minutes to talk about a cat and an easement. Free speech. It's great. Moderate? Yes. Do we want child porn on there? No. Do we want beheading videos and war stuff and all that stuff? That's all for the dark web. And it's evil, and it's nasty, and it's gross. But do I want people to ask questions about things that I think matter? 100%. And pushback's okay. It'll be good for people to have opposing views and not live in the echo chamber that they live in. Both sides need more of that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Do love hearing from every single one of you rough greens. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. You go there, you're going to get yourself a free bag of rough greens. The best, and I do mean the best, thing I've done for my dog. I've done a lot of different things for my dog. I've tried everything for my old, lovely, crazy, cantankerous doodle, but the only thing that worked was rough greens. It's got vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9, all this incredible stuff. I sprinkle on top of his food. It brings all of his food to life. And now you have a chance to get it for free. You just cover the cost of shipping. You go to RUFFgreens.com/Chad. They're going to send you a bag free. You cover the cost of shipping, and away you go. Roughgreens.com/Chad or call 833-MY-DOG-77. 833-MY-DOG-77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
To be free. I am not a terrorist. I am not Antifa. I am not a sex slave that wears masks.
Don't be a cutie pie.
Probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
You're ruining my life, man!
You haven't seen anything yet.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
This is what's finna be on the bill, though, which will be for kindergarten through 12th grade for the month of April. So first of all, white kids need to hold their breath for 8 minutes every day. White kids have to do the black kids' schoolwork. White kids have to give black kids their lunch money. Or else, everyone will watch George Floyd's sex tape and write an essay on it.
He starts laughing. That's Cassidy Campbell. He goes to the Frisco County city council meetings, like suburb there of Dallas, and he goes there, and it's all parody. He's a white dude bringing in his DNA thing. Said, look, I'm 2%. I got 2% black. I found that out on Ancestry.com. And he's this George Floyd stuff, and he starts laughing there. It's parody. All right, so don't freak out, because somebody's going to only hear a little bit and think, oh my God, you're making white kids do what? The part where he tries to get everybody to kneel like they did for like 90 seconds, like all the politicians who are kneeling and stuff. And he's like, yeah, y'all did it in 2020. It's not very nice, Chad. It's such a meanie. I think it's kind of funny. I'll just tell you guys, I think it's kind of fun to get over yourself. Please. Speaking of that, Harvard. Yeah, that school, Harvard, they're doing something because guilt is always nice. And they're going to go out and, they're going to give some money.
The report avoids any mention of direct financial reparations, a controversial practice. Other schools, including Georgetown and the University of Virginia, have also pledged to make amends for their ties to slavery with projects and even scholarships to benefit descendants of enslaved people.
Yeah, so they're going to be handing out something. Scholarships is going to be one of the things. Some people,
I think Harvard was late to the game a little bit at this report.
Maybe they were. Why don't we make them change their name? How about that? Change their name, change everything. 100%. And if you've gone to Harvard, you should be forced to renounce Harvard and get rid of anything that is Harvard related. How about that? Would that be cool? Oh, I don't know if they could do that. I'm trying to come up with solutions here. I'm trying to come up with solutions that I think would work best for the people of Harvard and everybody else to feel good about themselves. Because I don't want anybody not to feel good. I want everybody to feel great. I want everybody to win. I think that's the fair thing we should have. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love when you guys converse. Feel free to tweet at me, text all of the old programs. And I try to get back to as many people as possible. Like I always say this, criticize me, say things. Just try to have a normal conversation. That's the problem. One of the first things I would teach in school today, one of the first things I would teach is how to have a conversation, how to disagree without becoming personal. You know, when you fight with your mom or your dad or your brother or sister or your friend and you make it personal, there's the emotion and all of these things. There's things can get personal because you have a personal relationship. We don't even do that anymore. We don't even have personal relationships. We just argue about everything and we fight in such a way that it's like we have a personal relationship with the other person and say the worst possible things that you can say. That's what needs to be taught in school. STEM, coding, and how to have an actual conversation with a person who has a belief that is completely different than yours. It is crazy, right? That other people don't believe the way that you do. But is that what they're all about? Is the only thing they're about? Got to get it. Identity politics just doesn't go to the left. Identity politics is everywhere. And we have to, people ask me, how do I identify? I'm just me. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a follower of Christ. I played soccer. The job I do comes in way down the road. I'm a lot of things, but you're a cis white gendered male. Am I? Have you seen my DNA test? I don't think so. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Deutsche Bank says we could be heading into a recession. I think anybody could have told us that at some point in time. The way the economy going couldn't have kept its current pace. And so, yes, we're going to have a recession. How big will it be? That's the big thing. But you've got a lot of things happening right now for this administration that is going to cost them and the entire Democratic Party come November. Now, how big will it cost them? That's going to be really up to the Republicans, because the Republicans can overreach and do stupid things, as we have known them to do, or they can play their cards right and really kind of dominate in such a way that we haven't seen in a while. So but you never know with them who's showing up. I don't know. I mean, I expect that they're going to do something stupid somewhere. Somebody's going to overreach. I don't think it's going to change everything, but I don't think it's going to be as good as it could be. But one of the big things that is obviously on top of people's mind is immigration. You can't avoid it. I live here in the Southwest, in Phoenix, my house. I'm right in the center of Phoenix and Tucson. So they're about, I mean, it's literally 100 miles or so, 110 miles, and I'm dead in the center. It's 65 if I go one way, about 65 if I go the other. And where I am is one of the busiest port and smuggling areas in the country. And we have the big station for Border Patrol right there. See them every day. Talk to them. And it's tough. You go out there because so much of it is the Tohono O'odham land, which is a Indian reservation. So they don't make it easy to catch it. But there's no, you're taking motorcycles and you're taking, big trucks and ATVs and things like that. It's dark. It's dangerous. And our men and women in the Border Patrol, they're frustrated. They're over it. Talked to a guy this morning. It's like 2:30-ish in the morning. Putting gas in my car. As we all know, I hate to get gas. So, guy pulls up and he gets out and he's in his Border Patrol. And you can just tell he looks just crushed. He's like, I go, how bad? And he looks at me and goes, I just did like 10 hours of paperwork. I was out there for like 90 minutes or so, patrolling, doing my thing. And I did like 10 hours of just paperwork and now with Title 42 going away soon, even though they got a TRO, temporary restraining order, it's eventually going to go away. And remember, they've got 6 pillars of which to fix immigration. And Mr. Mayorkas, Homeland Security Secretary, who is useless as it gets, he's speaking today about, immigration and whatnot.
We started our planning last September, and we are leading the execution of a whole-of-government strategy which stands on 6 pillars to prepare for and manage the rise in non-citizen encounters.
So there's 6 pillars. Okay. Tell us a little bit.
After Title 42 is lifted, non-citizens will be processed pursuant to Title 8, which provides that individuals who cross the border without legal authorization are processed for removal and, if unable to establish a legal basis to remain in the United States, promptly removed from the country.
Well, how do you do that? So you come over here, you claim asylum, and it doesn't mean you get asylum, but now what it means is you are in the country. And they're just paroling people into the country. Some people, they know they're full of crap. The recidivism rate, reentry rate has been huge. So those people are going to get caught. But this is like, oh, yeah, the minute we get them, we're going to, no, you're going to go and they're going to say asylum. They say, I'm here for political reasons. I've been persecuted for whatever reason. And so, well, okay, now we're going to have to hear a case because you have to have your process. And there is no more staying on the other side because they want to get rid of Remain in Mexico. We'll talk about that in a second. So that being said, you're not promptly sending them back. You're, at this moment in time, handing them a phone of which they can ditch at any moment, and away they go. And then, after they've had their hearing, and then 99 times out of 100, they find out, no, you don't meet the standards of asylum, they then appeal, of which they get to stay longer, all the while building a life here in the United States of America.
With the Title 42 public health order set to be lifted, we expect migration levels to increase as smugglers seek to take advantage of and profit from vulnerable migrants. We will continue to enforce our immigration laws.
But we don't. I couldn't even tell you what our immigration laws are at this point. Can anybody tell me what those are? Does anybody have an idea of what our immigration law actually is at this point? No, you can't. So have you done a good job, Secretary?
We inherited a broken and dismantled system that is already under strain. It is not built to manage the current levels and types of migratory flows. Only Congress can fix this. Yet, we have effectively managed an unprecedented number of non-citizens seeking to enter the United States.
He's right. The system was broken. The one that Trump got was broken. Obama got was broken. Bush, broken. Clinton, broken. other Bush starting to let it break. Because before that, it was Reagan. He and Tip O'Neill, they got together like, all right, we're going to give amnesty. It's going to be like 1 million people. We're doing this once. We're going to fix it. We're going to build some wall. We're going to make sure our laws are in order. And then, most importantly, we've got these laws. We're going to enforce them. And the minute they said that, they stopped doing it. And then big business said, we need cheap labor. And the Republicans are like, yeah, we can help out. And then Democrats thought, wow, we may be building another class of voters down the road, and, oh, that's going to be good. And then over time, it became an issue to them that was not broken, but was profitable. It was an issue to raise money off and campaign on, but never to actually do anything with. And as it got worse and worse and worse and worse, Trump finally said, all right, I've had enough. Like we all have, we need to build a wall. Everybody's like, oh my God, you're racist. Yeah, well, most of the wall that's been built a lot of it was under Obama. And some of the wall that was built under Trump really wasn't Trump's wall. It was fixing old areas of Obama's wall. So then Trump puts in remain in Mexico, which means if you come here from certain countries, there were carve-out countries that you could come from that you could apply for asylum. But the majority, Mexico, but in particular, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador. If you were coming here, you had to remain there in Mexico. That's what you had to do. You had to stay there while your asylum case was being adjudicated, which could take how long? Mexico's like, I don't want any part of this. Don't want any part? No. We saw a precipitous drop in the number of people coming because they got the message. Look, if you come here and they catch you, you're going back immediately. If you apply for asylum, you got to wait on Mexico's side. So why be broke in a foreign country that doesn't want you there? Mexico, you might as well just stay home. And then the coronavirus hit and they put in Title 42, and Title 42 is not, I repeat, is not an immigration plan. It is a health issue of which they were able to say, look, because of the pandemic, you can't come here right now. But it's going to expire. They got a temporary restraining order. That's eventually going to expire as well. They're not going to keep this in perpetuity, even though the Democrats are standing up saying, you know what, we got to figure this out, guys. You know what, it might be best at this moment in time to keep this thing, but you can't. You can't. But there is no 6-pillar plan that's actually going to work. There isn't. Because too many people are terrified to make decisions. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. What politicians, not just in immigration, but what politicians across the board are doing now that they have realized if this happens, we have the opportunity to essentially say, I tried everything and there's nothing more I can do. And people can't get mad at them. They've punted it to a new team to allow them to make decisions. Talk about that, so much more, including what's going on over in Ukraine as well. The freak out of, the left when it comes to Elon Musk, as we all know, is evil. I'm Elon Musk. They make it seem like was it Emperor Palpatine? Is that his name, Phil? Right? Is the Star Wars guy?
That's it.
Yeah. He's the guy that shoots the laser beams from his fingers. Join the dark side. Talk about that. Trevor Reed's coming home. Who's that? He is a Marine that was in a Russian jail for the last 2 years, sentenced to 9 years, I think, for one thing. Might have been a total of 20 years. But we did a prisoner swap with them and a player to be named later. So we'll talk about that as well. MyPillow has something for you. It's towels. Towels galore. That's right. You're You're working out hard. You come home, you take a quick shower, and you go to reach for your towel, and your towel's awful. It doesn't dry you off. It's horrible. It's not big enough. Oh, God. Wish I had good towels, Chad. Well, you do now. Normally, you'd spend $110 on these towels, but you're going to get 6 towels for $40. $39.99. Cotton grown in the United States of America, right here. Tons of colors and sizes to choose from. 2 big towels, 2 hand towels, 2 washcloths. Not lotiony, not scratchy, machine washable, 6-day money-back guarantee, 1-year warranty. Now's your chance to save huge. Get your MyPillow towels and all the other great MyPillow products at a massive discount by going to MyPillow.com/Benson. MyPillow.com/Benson. You go there, you're going to save big on everything. Or you can call 800-983-4975. 800-983-4975. Or MyPillow.com/Benson. Use promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Check out our Chad Benson Show Facebook page where you can hang out or hang your grievances out to dry. This is Chad Benson.
Former Marine Trevor Reed was released from Russian detention, and President Biden says in a statement he's returning to the family that, quote, missed him dearly. The 30-year-old former Marine was serving a 9-year prison sentence for allegedly assaulting 2 Russian police officers in 2019 after a night of drinking. Reed and his family have denied the charges. The president said in a statement, quote, the negotiations that allowed us to bring Trevor home required difficult decisions that I do not take lightly. Reed's family, who met with the president at the White House on March 30th, said Trevor's health had been recently worsening.
Yeah, so we swapped him like a trade. We're releasing a Russian prisoner who apparently was a cocaine dealer. Oh, jeez. Yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, again, they showed him getting on an airplane today, and I will say this: he did not look good. He was struggling there just to walk. They were kind of like, I was like, oof, I mean, you always go back to that. Was it Oliver Warmbier? I don't think they treated him like that. You guys remember him? I think he tried to steal a sign in North Korea, and then they arrested him and then beat him essentially to death and then sent him home saying, oh, he wasn't feeling good. He got some bad, sushi. And then you're like, he's been beaten to death. So Trevor's going to be coming home. And now the question is Brittany Griner, who is the basketball star who played. So the WNBA, as we all know, is awful. And if you didn't know, then I just informed you. So imagine your surprise. Chad, you have daughters. What if they play in the WNBA? Great. Fantastic. But we don't. The WNBA doesn't play a lot. So to supplement the income, really, the WNBA is that's the income so just to supplement my income, I'll play in the WNBA. Because for all these stars, they go to Europe. And the European teams will pay them big money. And so she was making $1 million+ bucks playing for an oligarch over there. And she'd been there, the same team, I think, for almost a decade. And so what ended up happening is when the oligarchs' money got frozen, Russia got into the war, it got into the invasion, and things got nasty. And all of a sudden, they're clamping down on all the oligarchs and freezing their accounts and taking their assets. Things that she probably got away with, that didn't happen. I can guarantee you right now, I don't know whether she did or didn't have hash in her vape, because there's a possibility she didn't. If she did, and the oligarch was still the oligarch and things were as usual, they'd have never asked that question. Hell, because of the oligarch, she could have walked out of there with a giant spliff in her mouth and it wouldn't have mattered, because that's what happens when you have that kind of protection. I have a feeling she'll be home sooner rather than later, but good for Biden in doing this. And what we got rid of some drug dealing Russian and we're sending him home, or we're having, we're releasing him, and who knows what's going to happen. That guy, they're probably like, we need more prisoners. Find out how many Russians they have in custody. We need them over here so they can fight against the Ukrainians. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Your Twitter. Tweet at us. So much stuff still to get to. More Mayorkas, who's our secretary, Department of Homeland Security Secretary, today. Testimony about Title 42 and what a great job he's doing on immigration. We'll talk about that. Freaking out in the world of, yes, I'm going to say it, Twitter, because of Elon Musk, the dark devil. Talk about that. Some other fun stuff, too. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Politicians have something that they have now figured out, and they're using it. It's called a court. Well, they've always used. No. You're going to hear me out on this one. If you're a politician, in particular, if you're a true leader in the world of politics, because you have to make tough decisions, right? You've got to make tough decisions. And over the last several years, Congress and the Senate, they just slowly, they've given away some of their power and not had it usurped by the court system, but have given it away to the court system, in particular, Supreme Court. And why that matters is because nowadays, as a politician, you're able to say and do crazy things, raise money off the fringe, and be the loudest, and say, I'm going to go fight for your rights, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Even help pass wacky bills, knowing they're going to be challenged in court. And even many people, that politicians I talk to, knowing full well they have no leg to stand on in court. But it's a great way to pass responsibility onto another group of people who, by the way, are unelected and they're non-fireable. I mean, yeah, can you get rid of them? It takes a lot. When's the last time we're like, we really got to remove this person from holding the court down? No. And their ruling is final. And it allows them to go back to their constituents, to the nation, and go, tried everything. I did it for you. But the courts overruled me. There's nobody else. There's no oracles above them. This is it. We got to go by what they say. We're sorry. We just got to go by it. And that allows them to punt responsibility. Case in point, Title 42 is going away. We know that. It's been heard at the highest court in the land. The other thing that's out there that is sitting there, not Title 42, but, you mean that evil remain in Mexico policy? You mean you mean that one? Yes. Which is great, because even if Biden used Title 42 as a de facto immigration plan to try to slow some stuff down, which it never did, because there's no responsibility. He doesn't look bad. Now that he's getting rid of it, they're coming out with the 6 pillars of whatever it is that they're trying to fix. But knowing full well that they had the Remain in Mexico thing and they've lost it in court, and they're, then they weren't enforcing it. And that's where we are now with Texas saying, you guys got to enforce this thing. You're allowing the court essentially to do all of the heavy lifting.
They argued that the state of Texas, a court, Missouri, they can't force the Biden administration to continue having to negotiate with Mexico. The justices seemed very piqued by that argument, and will perhaps find out at the end of next month whether or not they'll let it stand and whether remain in Mexico will be ended once and for all, a relic of the Trump era.
Ooh, a relic of the Trump era. It's evil. It's mad. Relic of the Trump era. But if it's not, and they tell them they got to keep it, well, then all the people out there can go, well, you did try to get rid of the thing. You tried everything you possibly could. But the courts overruled you. It's the punting of responsibility. Because when you're held accountable, as we all should be, and sometimes in life where people are held accountable for things they should, that it's just, you're being ridiculous. I can look at Mayorkas, who is our, Department of Homeland Security Secretary. Today, he's on the Hill getting grilled, and he's like, look, this thing's a mess. We were handed a turd sandwich. It's 100% right. Now, you've made it worse. You have. But everybody who is elected is held to account in many ways, of which your constituents are going to ask you, did you do any of these things? And the things that you didn't get done, you're always trying to do what? Oh, it's somebody else's fault. Well, the court system, it's great. Non-elected bureaucrats, people like our court system who shoot things down, activist judges. I can't overstep the law. The Supreme Court has spoken. All responsibility has been pushed. I can only do so much. That's why the biggest things that happen end up in the Supreme Court now. And it's great for politicians who know that they can go back to their constituents and go, we did everything we could. We tried. We passed a bill. We pushed. But at the end of the day, the courts overruled us. So we're going to go back to the drawing board, which at that point then gives them some cover politically to maybe negotiate for real. But it's scary to think that we are pushing true responsibility of decision-making and getting things right to 9 unelected people in robes who cannot get fired to interpret a document of which 6 see it one way and 3 see it the other way. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Elon Musk has purchased Twitter. So I'm saying this again. Elon Musk has bought Twitter. And you know what that means.
The enjoyment they get out of being in this town square is being able to harass people, being able to attack people. They attacked women. The misogyny was crazy on Twitter for a while, but they don't just want to come in. They want to come in and be able to punch people in the face and walk around and laugh about it and not have anyone be able to stop them. Elon Musk, I guess he misses the old South Africa in the 80s. He wants that back.
So Elon Musk wants apartheid is what you're saying. That's what Elon Musk wants. He wants apartheid because he is about having more free speech. He is about giving people a platform of which he calls the town square to have people have differing viewpoints. And we're not talking about the misogyny, the trolls, the idiots. They're out there. By the way, they're never, ever eliminated. I get called names all the time. I get direct messaged. I get text. I get tweeted at. People say horrible things to me. I don't take it seriously because my self-worth isn't built on what somebody thinks of me on Twitter. But it is the fact that you can even draw a correlation of he bought Twitter, and because he bought Twitter, it's obvious that you can draw a line from point A to point B and come up with the conclusion that he longs for a day that Nelson Mandela is back in prison and apartheid South Africa. What?
Donnie Deutsch, your thoughts on
Deutsch.
Elon Musk?
I don't know. To me, when the richest guy in the world takes over the most important social media platform, that's just not a winning formula to me. It reminds me of old Bond movies where, you know, Dr. Evil and guys like that, or Goldfinger were going to take over the media. My tummy meter says there's something just not great about this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Remember we talked about who controls these platforms? Is it the right or left? Are they biased or unbiased? Well, they're pretty unbiased. Really. So their political leanings wouldn't get involved in any way, shape, or form with their decision-making as far as moderation, even though on average about 99% of Twitter employees give to only Democrats, where Elon Musk is virtually 50-50. Even Tesla's employees are like 98% give to Democrats. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Just for a second. So if you have most of Silicon Valley, and Twitter's not the most important, it has the most influence in politics and culture. It has way too much influence. It punches way above its weight class. But if you've got 500 people over here who are angry that a guy who is politically seems to be more libertarian and wants more free speech and is giving people the opportunity, to have more free speech, and you've got a group of people who are working in the place that he's now running, and they only give to one side of the aisle, and you're telling, hey, you're the person who's bad and evil because you don't believe in what we do, and the freak out is real. Because people panic. And we live in a world of snowflakes and what's that? You know, when you're a child, I've got a 3-year-old. Charlie is a tank. She is. She's a tough nut. I always joke, she's my little Viking. But she's a child. She still does childly things. She throws fits, right? Like as kids do. But I expect that when she gets older, she's going to stop that. But that doesn't happen now. They just throw bigger fits because they didn't get the things that they wanted. And the fact that we're having to talk about free speech in a day and age where we shouldn't be. We're not talking, what about misinformation? Who gets to decide what's misinformation? How long do we hear about mask? They all work, even if it's just this. And finally, after all the data comes in, that really didn't work. Nothing really changed. Nothing was different, right? You know, I mean, everybody kind of ended up in the same place, which we said was going to happen. Hey, this is really a bad thing, COVID, for a certain group of people. No, it's bad for everybody. It's bad for everybody. These shots, these vaccines, 100%. Well, not really. You can't give it if you get the shot. Oh, you can? But you can't get it. No, you can't. You can't question. And that's the big thing. Most important thing in all of this is we should be able to ask questions. They may be inane, and they may be idiotic. But you should be able to ask a question. And that was being stopped. Hunter Biden stopped. Where did the bat kung flu come from? No, can't talk about that. That's racist and evil and bad. They're losing some of what they see as their control. And because of that, they're throwing a fit like a child. When I was a child, I act like a child. That doesn't seem to translate anymore. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Eden Pure is awesome. Go to EdenPureDeals.com. Use code CHAD3. You're going to save big on the Oxyleaf 2 Thunderstorm from Eden Pure. Best air purifier around. You get it, right? So they send you 3. You save $200. Remember code CHAD3, number 3. It arrives. Take it out of the box. You go, okay, now what do I have to do? Where's the filters? There is no filters. So you don't have to buy filters? Nope. Plug it into the wall and let it go. Within moments, you'll smell the difference. Maybe you've got kitty litter, problems. The cats, my goodness. Maybe you've had smokers in the house. You're like, oh, just whatever it is. You can even plug it into the car. It eliminates odors in seconds, kills all the nastiness, and you will smell the difference. You will. That's what I want you to go to EdenPureDeals.com. Use code CHAD, the number 3, so CHAD3. You'll save $200. You can get a 3-pack of these. Put them anywhere in the house. It is incredible what these things do. You will truly smell the difference. Shipping is free. EdenPureDeals.com. Code CHAD3. EdenPureDeals.com. Use that code CHAD3 to save $200. Shipping is free. Chad Benson Show.
Serving up talk radio medium rare and dripping with irony. It's Chad Benson.
That is us. You are you. Talking about canceling and insanity. I wanted to get this earlier. So James Gunn, who apparently was really mean to people and said some stuff on Twitter 10 years ago, and then he was fired from Disney, he directs, Guardians of the Galaxy and a bunch of other stuff. And then everybody goes and says, hey, you know what? No, we like this guy. It was stupid. Stop with the Twitter, canceling. And so Disney brought him back. Well, he's protected. Came out this week and fired shots at a bunch of people who went after Chris Pratt. If you guys know anything about Chris Pratt, he's married to Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter. He is he's a Christian. Supposedly he goes to Hillsong, which was a very famous, very large church, an Australian church, but it was, they've been in the news lately. But that's where Bieber and a lot of celebrities went. And oh my goodness me! But for whatever reason, everybody hates Chris Pratt. Right? They want to cancel him all the time. And people started, hey, it's time to switch over and get rid of him. And he finally came out, and James Gunn fired back at all these people. Because somebody posted a picture of Chris Pratt, and then, oh, God, I forget the guy's name, but looks a little bit like Chris Pratt. And he's in all the supernatural movies that you see with the husband and wife, Ed and Lorraine Warren. But says replace him. And then James Gunn goes, for what? Because of your made-up, utterly false beliefs about him? For something that someone else told you about him that's not true? He's never going to replace the Star-Lord, but if he was, we're all going with him. And then more people fired back. Well, his church is bad. His church is this. He goes, and he's all these things. How bad he is. And he goes, he isn't. I know the church he currently goes to. Do you? ? The answer is you don't. But you heard from someone who heard from someone who heard from someone where he goes to church. So you decided, yeah, okay, I'll believe this terrible thing I heard online about this celebrity. I like that. We need more of that. No, I'm not going to fire him. I'm not going to get rid of him. I'm not going to get rid of somebody because you want somebody to be gone. I'm not going to tear somebody out of somebody's life. And destroy somebody's life because you feel that you have some sort of moral obligation to protect everybody from something. We have enough of that crap. It is amazing the insanity of which we live. Thank God somebody's standing up for people. And I hope the Elon Musk, and I'm going to tell you guys, a lot of you are going to be disappointed. It's not going to be a free-for-all on there. It's not going to be the thing that people... I think a lot of the right hopes it devolves into some insanity. It freaks the left out, and the left hopes it does that too, so they can go, look what happened. I think what you're going to see is he's going to make a few different things, like the edit button. He's going to add, and maybe there's going to be some situations here or there where people that would be kicked off of Twitter because they question whether or not, a woman with balls is really the best woman to be swimming in a meet against other women. Oh, Chad, I can't believe you said that. Oh, you're right. Testicles. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. My goodness. This week feels like it's flying by. Do you realize that this time next week we'll be into May? To May. How many of you still have your New Year's resolutions? Oh, that wasn't for this past year. That was for the year coming up. Is that what you thought it was for this year? Oh, you guys are wrong. No, but we're already into May. That is amazing. Follow along on all the social media. right? We do some stuff there, some stuff we don't, just because it just feels like something else to do. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I do a lot. Every once in a while, I just want to do nothing. It's not very nice, Chad. Have a blessed Wednesday. We got you over the hump. We'll do it again tomorrow. Night, night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.